Greetings. Today's the 5th, and I got some information to pass on. Today is my day to milk, right? And I'm milking by myself today because we have some of the kids aren't here, but I'll show you what I got going, and I want to explain something. Hey, this is our milking parlor the way it is right now. I got enough room for 5 people in here. 5 people. So, working out really good. But this one right here, this is a cow that we got from somebody, one of those deals. And so we didn't have that much information on her. This cow, her name is Stripe, because she's striped. That's what the kids named her. And this one's name, she has a stripe on her face. So it was the stripe-faced one. And then it got changed to just Face. So her name is Face. And she had a calf last year, a little later than this, maybe in June, I think. Yeah, today's May 5th. So we were having a hard time with her. Like, we couldn't milk her without her kicking. And it was not just kicking a little, it was kicking a lot. And those hoofs can do some damage, and she actually did some damage to my hand. She peeled off a spot about the size of a peach pit, and it was a good chunk of meat that came off. And when that happened, she had kicked a few other people. I said, that's it. She's going down the road, as we say, and that doesn't always mean that she's going on a field trip. That means that she's going next door to the butcher shop, and we'll make hamburger out of her, which actually makes perfect sense, because I paid $750 for her, and she came with a calf. I mean, she had a calf in her. She was pregnant. And she did have the calf, and we have the calf, and he's partly beef breed, so he's out with the steers right now. So we're not going to milk him. So even if she went through the shop, she'll make $750 worth of hamburger, and probably more than that. So that was what was going to happen. And then one day I'm in here. She came in. I wasn't milking her because she was so unmanageable. And all of a sudden, I recalled something that I had heard someone say one time about milking from the right. Like, we've never done that. We just milk from whatever side is most convenient. Like, I'm going to milk this cow next, Ruby, from the left. But I thought, let's try it. Let's milk Face from the right and see what happens. So I did, and there was no problems. Like, she was really easy. So now she just had a calf last week. So I am putting the kicker bar on her just to play it safe. And she's really turning out to be one of our best cows as far as production. She's a Jersey. And you can see she's got a massive udder on her. Yeah, whoop. Well, that kind of flew in the face of what I'm saying. I mean, she does kick a little bit, but she's not kicking me, right? She just kind of kicks at the equipment, because you can see she's really engorged. But she will fill this can. Just fill it right to the top. You'll even sometimes put too much in it. And I don't milk her completely out. I milk her until this thing is just heavy enough that I know I've got a good jag of milk in there, almost full. That's a lot of milk. And, she's really working out good. So she just gave us a nice little bull calf. And that's the story that goes with Face. Now, she's probably 6 years old, and she's in really good condition. She is a handsome cow. If you look at her face, she's not a bad looking girl. She doesn't like to be touched around the head. You can look at her, but don't touch. And she actually has a temperament that's good in dairy cows, where she will move away from you. It's good because sometimes you have to move them around, and if they'll just move away from you, then you can vector them where you want to go. But if they're all like a bunch of dogs that want to come and be petted, that's not good, because they are big. So she's getting to the point where she's almost done, and then this bucket has to be milked every time. I'll show you my operation here. I'm pretty proud of this. I put that door in, so when I slide that door open, they hear it and they're coming, because they get a little bit of this sweet feed, and it's actually a mix of grains, and then it's got a little bit of sweetness on it. Whatever they put on it, I can't think of it right now. And it makes a sweet feed. So they get about a scoop of it. About that much. About that much is what they get. And that's just enough to entice them in. This facility right here, this was what this barn was built to do. They built it so they could milk 10 of them in here in 1900. We didn't put 10 in because I did not want to have to fight in between these cows. There's more space in between the cows. And when we're done here, we'll have 7, and that's enough. Like if we went to 14 cows, we'd have 2 groups of 7 that would come in. And these guys are creatures of habit. They come into their same headstand every day. You know, that's where they go. Now this room here is the milk house is what it's called, and it's got stuff in it. You can see the floor's all broken up. They didn't put drains in back in the day, so we've broken this up, and we're going to put a drain right in the middle, and then we're going to kind of do some things on the walls so we can heat this. We'd like this to be about 40 degrees in the wintertime, all winter, and that way the compressor is heated and the milking equipment is kept warm. All right, well, she's about done. She's definitely done. So our cows, we have 5 cows, and a cow being a bovine female that has had a calf. So that makes them a cow. If they haven't had a calf, they're a heifer, right? So this is a heifer right here. She was born here. Her name's Belle. You may remember, it wasn't, it would be a year ago this past January she was born, and she was born on a really cold day. I was plowing snow and I happened to see her. If I hadn't have just got a glimpse of her, she would have been toast because it was so cold, and the tips of her ears are frozen off. And by the time I got to her with a front end loader to bring her up, she was nearly unconscious. It was, all right, got disconnected. We get disconnected out here. Dairy cows, some of them are really good moms, but some of them are not. And her mom, Cece, she's middle of the road. But, you know, what can she do? She doesn't have a blanket. She just basically licks the calf off. And when it is 20 below, that's kind of rough. And that is a farmer problem. I should have had Cece up in the barn. At the time, I didn't really have a place for her. Now I do. And so we're a lot smarter about it now. Mainly because this is becoming a thing here. Milking cows is becoming a thing. But this one, Belle, she's a year old in January, so February, March, April, May. So she's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 months old. And she will be bred when we breed Ruby. So that will be about a month from now. She's going to be bred. So Our friends at Armstead will come in here and they will artificially inseminate her, and that makes it really easy for us. But what I'm doing now, she has had to stand outside and watch the other cows come in. We put her back in with the cows when she got a little bit bigger. We actually had to do something that was kind of rough, but we had to put this in her nose. And I know a lot of you young gals lately are putting things like this in your nose, and it's meant to attract men, I guess. I don't know why they do it, because it certainly doesn't attract me, but maybe you should go with something like this, right? You see how that goes right in the nose right there? And then it's got these points on it. So if she goes to try and nurse her mother, she pokes her, and then the mother moves away or kicks her or whatever and breaks the habit. But maybe some of you gals should start thinking about this. This would look really cool if it was smaller, I think, in your nose. But we had to put this in Belle's nose, and it was there for about a week, and that was the end of it. She didn't try. Belle did not like this at all because it kind of pinched her nose. It was uncomfortable, but she didn't like it. So what we're doing now, though, is we're allowing her to come in and get a little bit of sweet feed. So she's getting used to coming in. Like, she won't be coming in here to milk for 10 months. You know, for almost a year from now is when she will calf. But you invest in a calf like this as much as you can, because she could be here for 10 or 15 years. You know, the way our milking operation is, we're not milking twice a day. I don't need that much milk. I just milked our 3 or 4 cows. One of them is getting ready to calf. I've got 16 or 17 gallons of milk here. I would not want to milk them this afternoon. You know, it's not all going in a bulk tank and then being picked up by a semi. That's not how we do it. It's all going in bottles, being cooled individually, and then it goes out, you know, during the week. Like that, raw. It's not getting cooked. So we take very good care of her, because if you were to look at her potential for milk production over the next 10 years, it's staggering how much milk she will produce. And she's designed to do it. She likes to do it. Their life is eating grass, eating hay, drinking water, and getting milked. That's their life. They don't go on vacations or anything like that. They just lay in the sun and swat flies, and that's the life of a cow. And along the way, if I take good care of them, there's quite a bit of gain in that. So it's something to look at for sure. It's what I get excited about these days. Anyone can farm.